Hello? Okay, so it's my turn now. It's very fun. Okay. Hello, everyone. Hi. I'm the first, but not the best. You're going to have more profounding and insightful speech after me from my outstanding classmates. And first of all, I'd like to express my deep gratitude to all those professional staff and instructors from SFU and also our NTNU and also MOE. Thank you for arranging all these things for us to have this bountiful learning for these overseas professional development programs. Thank you very much. And yes, I'm Trishari. I'm from Taipei Municipal芳和Experimental Junior High School. I still remember the very first week I arrived in Canada, and several instructors kept asking us the same question: what is your teaching belief? I was so shocked to find out that I never thought of this. I thought I teach by the curriculum guidance, I taught according to the textbooks. I never thought about myself, my elements in my teachings. Then suddenly the memory go back and I found that, yes, there's something there. There's something to shape my teachings. And my beliefs, I think, are these. Okay, the first one is learn by teaching. The second one is learn by cooperating. The third one is learn by doing and using. That's no wonder that I keep asking my students to play a role as a teacher, to teach their classmates. And I have those moments that I ask my students to do cooperative learning. And also that's the reason why I keep doing cross-cultural projects for my students to provide them opportunity to use English in authentic situation. And for today's presentations, there are 3 sharing points I want to share. The first one is the most effective solution for me for the very beginning of the semester. And GoPray high-impact activities I want to introduce. And then and many other things that I have learned in SFU that enlightened me. And so this is the first part about the most effective solution. It happens to be that I have a total new class this semester. So at the very beginning of the semester, I thought of Jennifer. And Jennifer provides us activities that I can help to build the community of my class. And this is called a self-introduction mobile. With a clothes hanger, the students can attach some important things on it, and with the hanger, and the students do activity like this, they do self-introduction. I found this is very helpful because my students are not so nervous and they have many stories to tell others. And then most of the classmates feel interested in their sharing. And I think that's a good start to help my students to know each other. And then I think of I thought of another activities that Jennifer provides too. That is called one gift to your community and 2 needs from your community. I ask my students think about what is the thing that you think you have the strengths that you can provide to the community, and 2 needs that you really want from your community. With this activity, we build up the common ground of in the class and of the community. That what are the most important things in our class, and what are the important things that your classmates need from you. So I think this is a very good activity, and that helped me raise the awareness of the inclusion and diversity of my class. Okay, that is the most effective solution for classroom management. And then I will share you my little action plan about how I try to enhance learning engagement and motivation with low play and high impact activity in my mixed ability class. Yes, I have problem to solve. That's the reason why I want to do this action plan. In my mixed ability class, I have more and more students feel bored and frustrated with memorizing vocabulary mechanically. And I do need some time to do differentiated teaching or help my students do differentiated learning. Therefore, I come out a learning task. It is called Doraemon Anki Pan Worksheet. Actually, there are a series of tasks that I help my students to review their vocabulary. And after the whole little action plan, I have some reflection, and like, Nina has mentioned that a lot of reflection, and we have to revise it and make it better and better and find some new problems to solve. And my results, what I got is my students' engagement and motivation are improved. But my new task or my new challenge is my high-level students are still not challenging enough, so I need to come out more challenging activities for my advanced students. And I'm very glad that finally my differentiating teaching and learning can be arranged in one class. Okay, before I talk about my little action plan, I would like to introduce my beliefs again, or what I think about first. Okay, that is what is the most effective approach in class time. According to the revised Bloom taxonomy learning pyramid, it suggests that teachers should spend more class time on doing these things, on doing demonstration, on doing discussion group, on doing practice by doing, and on doing teaching others. And we teachers should encourage our students to apply knowledge, analyze things, and to evaluate and to create more things in the class, not outside of the class. Everyone wants to have successful learning in our class. And I found that factors for success in my junior high school level students is motivation is number one, and number two is curiosity, and then you have to provide play, something for them to play. So I have my memory prep worksheet like this. I explained it in Chinese here for my students, and I'll talk about it later according to the slides. Okay, there are 8 steps I use, and this is how the Doraemon Anki Pan worksheet looks like. It's made for vocabulary learning and vocabulary reviewing. Okay, take a look at this worksheet. There are 4 parts here. For the first part, I designed it for my student to review the vocabulary in 6 ways. The second part is that I try to do a cooperative learning. I encourage my students make a pair and they can test each other what they have learned. And the third part is listening. That's the whole class listening test. I will read aloud a sentence embedded the words that they designated words that I want them to learn. Then I'll read it out loud, the sentence, and they have to hear out the word and forward the words out to me, okay, so they can get scored. And the final one is oral test. And this one is the one I feel very glad, I'm very pleased with, because that is the time I can really use the class time to test my student orally, not after class. Okay. And this is how my 6 ways look like. The first one is I ask my student to write their words in capitals and small letters. One side in Chinese and the other side in English. It is very tricky that most of students are very familiar with small letters words, but you ask them to transfer it from big letter word to small letter word to big letter word. It's kind of awkward. They feel, oh no, I feel it's kind of difficult. And then I tell them that help you to really focus the words again. And number 2 is write your word with red vowels and blue consonants. My intention is that I would like my student to highlight the pronunciation. Vowels play important roles in pronunciation. So it's the differences that help my student to pronounce the word correctly or properly. And number 3 is write your word with steady letters. This is designed for those students who like drawing, like doodling, and that's a good activity that help them concentrate on doing something they really want to do. And number 4 is write your words with one letter missing on each line until the final letter is left. This is another focus games that student can do. And number 5 is write your words in cursive. In my students' stage, they are not familiar with cursive writing. So with this cursive writing, it helps them to emphasize on the task they are doing, and that help them memorize vocabulary too. And number 6, I designed this for advanced students. That I asked them to write their words in a silly sentence, try to make a meaningful sentence or funny sentence to help them to develop their language use. And this video showed me how to, you can take a little bit of it. Yeah, I show them how to, this is my students, and I show them how to do the task. Yeah, something like this. I skip this because it's time. And this is the second video, still the same thing, talking about the same thing. And here comes my students' feedback. For this is average student. Every student will choose things like this. They will choose things easier. Yeah, he's selling something like this. And this is very advanced students. You know, I have a win-win project with her because her English is pretty good. So she now, in my class, writing novels or stories for their peer to read. Okay, wow. So you can take a look at that.
So I chose write your words in capital and small letters because it was the easiest one, and also because it was the easiest one, I could be more efficient because we had very little time. The second one is write your words with red vowels and do consonants. I didn't do that because it would take a lot of time to and write your words with certain letters. I chose a simulated.
So you know what I mean, mixed ability class like this, you know, very top students and very average student from the beginner. Okay, that is all about her. And then, and here I mentioned that I'm very glad that I finally got a chance to do differentiate teaching learning. While students are folding their memory bread and they are doing peer testing like this, and I do have the time to do this. You know, I go one by one and check their pronunciation, and I check their understanding of the words, and I give them scores. Yeah. So everyone is doing their jobs. Yeah. So yeah. Here you can see these two are testing each other. See, this is how they fold it. They try to fold the word, and the other have to fold the Chinese word to make a pair, something like that. You know, and it's not very easy. You know, sometimes for some students have cursive writing, so it takes some time for them to find out which word it is. Yeah, that is how it works. And here is my personal teaching for my student in class, not after class. And finally, I want to share my enlightenment from SFU. There are lots of things that I want to try out. Yeah, so the first thing first is that you are what you teach is mentioned about my belief. So I know this is very important. Backward design, right? So first thing first, we should know what we care most about and what we want to achieve. And number 2 is inquiry-based learning. Yeah, those connecting and processing and personalization, those reflective. And I mean that you have to reflect again and again and new design again. I think that's very important for a teacher. And a balanced approach. I should always remember there are many skills need to be developed, and there are many different students with different needs. I have to design different kind, not just one type of teaching. And clear? Yeah. Nowadays, you know, English is more and more important in professional learning. So maybe we can soft skill student, and I try a little bit of it actually. Okay, not share in this time. And okay, and this following 2, 3. I'm sorry, my time is up. Maybe you can go through it, or maybe we can have more discussion about this. Thank you very much.